Hi everyone, my name is Sachin and I'm from Bangalore, India. I currently live in Seattle, USA, and I'm interested in tennis, personal finance, cooking, and traveling. I'm a data scientist at eBay. I work on building machine learning models to improve the customer experience by looking at large scale data to understand trends and understand user behavior to give them a great experience. I've been at eBay for 5.5 years right now. It's a long time. Daily routine, we are working from home, so I start about 9:30 a.m. To 10 a.m. every day, and I try to finish my work by 5:30 or 6 p.m. Sometimes there's few days where you have project launch and it can go beyond, and we always have to do that. And some days it's not as busy and you can finish sooner as well. Day to day looks like getting to the desk and looking at data, writing Spark scripts to analyze large volumes of data, learning, reading up on the latest machine learning articles as well as papers to see how researchers and other companies are building machine learning systems, and try to see where that can be incorporated into our work. Try out new libraries in machine learning and incorporate them into our systems. And apart from this, there is also the part of looking at what you have built and seeing whether it's useful to the customers. So writing A/B tests to check whether what you have built is better than what was existing prior, and getting those numbers about how the customer behavior has changed based on what new model you introduced into the system. That keeps you on your toes because you always have to improve the experience, and sometimes while it's not very common, it does happen that a model that you introduce reduces the customer experience or reduces the total revenue of the system, and we have to catch that immediately using monitoring systems so that we don't leak and lose money or lose customers, because any bad experience you lose customers. So yeah, that's another part of my day where we have to look at consistently improving things and monitoring so that things don't go wrong. Prior to eBay, I was pursuing my master's degree at North Carolina State University, which is in Raleigh, North Carolina. I studied topics like graph data mining, machine learning at this place, and it was a really fulfilling experience. During this time, I also did an internship at eBay, which gave me a lot of insights into how corporate world is and what kind of problems we solve there. So that was really exciting. Prior to moving to the USA, I was in Bangalore, India, working at a startup called Qki. It's a creative exploration platform which was founded by A.R. Rahman. I worked for them for 1 year, and I built a recommendation engine for them. It was out of the path of regular college students. I did not go to a job that I found in placements in my college. I went outside and beyond and found the startup opportunity and joined them as a software engineer. So that was really nice. I was studying at RNSIT and pursuing information science and engineering at that time. And although I was placed in other companies, I chose to spend time at the startup where I could get a much more diverse experience in a short span of time. I work at Qki, which is a digital media company founded by A.R. Rahman. And I was thrilled at this opportunity. I went to the office in Indranagar and I interviewed and got the job. The next 1 year that I worked at QKey was extremely exciting. I learned more than what I learned in 4 years that I was in engineering. I worked on machine learning and recommendation engines there. So I'm really thankful to all the people I worked with over there. From India, I worked at QKey for a year and I was applying to US universities in parallel. I got an admission from 3 universities. I chose one of them, which is North Carolina State University. The initial move to the United States was kind of scary and different in various ways. Being in India, we are used to being pampered and getting things done for us, whereas over here you have to do everything by yourself and study at university in a much more hardened and tougher curriculum. So that was definitely challenging, especially the first couple of months, and then you get into the rhythm of things, and it gets I wouldn't say it gets easier. I would say you grow into that space where it works for you. This program was about 18 months, and during this time there were a bunch of challenges as well. It's a fairly expensive program. I had taken a loan from an Indian bank. My father had helped me get a loan. So it was very important for me to get an internship and eventually a job to pay off the loan and go ahead in my career and my life from there. So people around you would get internships before you, and it would get into a tense situation where the deadline is getting closer and you may not have a job already. So it was important to be on your toes, prepare for interviews, study books that were relevant to software engineering interviews, and go to the right people in the university who could help you polish your resume, give you tips on how to talk in interviews, things like that. My first introduction to computer science was in 11th grade or first PUC. I started learning C programming in my first computer science class in PUC, and I was thrilled to see how computers work. That was my starting point into computer science, and there was no looking back from there. I really loved it. I got good scores in computer science, and not just scores, I was able to execute and create programs by myself without having to look at the answer keys. So that got me interested into pursuing computer science in my engineering. During the final couple of semesters at RNSIT, I looked at two things. I wanted to pursue my master's degree, so I was focusing on some preparation on that front, like writing my GRE and polishing my profile for applying to US universities, as well as looking at placements because I wanted to work in India for a year or two. I attended placements provided by my college, and I got placed in a couple of companies through them as well. But I always had this desire to work for a small company so that early in my career I could get a wide experience very quickly. Looking back, I wish I would have done more internships and more projects during that time. For those of you who are listening, it would be great to explore things beyond what college defines for you. I would say, given the stay-at-home orders for the last 6 months, a lot of things have changed, and a lot of the physical companies have struggled and the digital companies have thrived. And this wasn't necessarily only because of COVID. it was a trend from many multiple years that digital companies were growing and regular stores where people buy things were declining. So going forward, looking at your career for the next 20 years, I would say being in the digital side of things is good. Whether it is software, whether it is digital content on YouTube, or making movies for Netflix, any of those things, I would still imagine being in the digital domain would be better. Software and coding would always be useful in any domain, in my opinion. You can make any domain better with coding skills. Machine learning, AI, and data science, they are really growing areas, and it's honestly really hard to hire a good candidate in this space because there are very few of them, and getting trained in these areas will be very helpful, and the industry needs people with this skill set. Anything related to the digital domain would be a good start to your career. Not necessarily in the tech side, even in the non-tech side. If you don't prefer to code, if you don't prefer to write complex algorithms and things like that, you can look at product management. You can look at writing, creative writing for companies that do software. You can work on the media relations of the company. There's a wide variety of things that every bit of these tech companies need, and you can succeed in any path you want. Try to ask for help. Don't be shy. Don't stay within and assume everything will be all right. It's important to go beyond your comfort level and ask for help, and that's the only way you can break through and go ahead. When I joined engineering, it was 2008, and today it's 2020. The world has changed, and the availability of information and courses through Skill@Will or otherwise, it's immense in today's world. Definitely start looking at maybe a few years down the line what you want to be, and track back the skills that you need to be that person, and learn those skills in whichever way suitable to you, either through a course, physical course, or an online course, or just reading blog posts about how those things are done in the industry today. That would be one recommendation. Another recommendation would be, if you are already in an engineering college, try to get an internship, even if it's for a couple of months, even if it is unpaid. I feel that you have more to gain from experience in a company, a smaller company, as to gain those skills in a quick way and put it into real use cases, and that helps you grow a lot more faster. So every year of your engineering, at least spend 2 months trying to build a project on your own or through a company that can give you an internship. One thing I would like to tell the young people, especially recent graduates, is when you find your first job, don't get into commitments very early in life. By commitments, I mean financial commitments. Don't go get into an EMI for a car that you're stuck onto for 5 years, because in the initial years of your career, it's important to be flexible and agile and go wherever opportunities present yourself. And if it means that you don't earn as much because of some newer opportunity, you should be in the position to earn lesser and still go for that. Because if you have a car with a 30,000-40,000 rupee EMI, you can't leave that current job, and you'll be stuck with that. So keep yourself free. Don't get into huge financial commitments if you can control that situation. Yeah. Do not fear any of these terms or fancy terms like data science or machine learning or any other domain for that matter, web development. They sound scary for a common person, but once you dive into that, once you spend a month or spend a couple of months trying to learn it, you get used to it, whether it be programming in Python or Java or any skill for that matter. And it's important to jump in and try it out, and within a few months you can get better at it and grow from there. So a quick 3-month course to get better at something would be the best way forward for someone who cannot afford a 4-year degree or cannot afford to go to USA for a master's degree right now. Definitely upskilling yourself and cross-skilling yourself from the position where you are right now will be very beneficial. I truly believe anything that you want to do, if you spend a couple of months doing it, you can get quite good at it. So if you imagine there's a graph, the x-axis is the number of days spent doing something, and the y-axis is your skill level. The first 3 to 6 months, your skill level grows very quickly to a very good level. And then from the good to the expert level, it takes multiple years together, and it's a very flattish growth from there. So your first 3 to 6 months is the most power-packed learning curve, and that's why I want you all to focus on the first 3 to 6 months, get into that, learn that, and that will give you the biggest bang for the buck, and you have all your life to be an expert at it. Skill at Will is a company that is focused on getting everyone upskilled and getting them to where they want to be in their lives. Just go to their website, skillatwill.com, put in the skill that you want to learn, and they'll recommend the top providers of courses in that domain. And you can even do a trial class and try it out before you even have to pay. So go ahead, try it out, and hope you get to where you want to be in your career soon.